You told me you didn't have a power, so when I saw this timid, quirkless boy try to save a life, it inspired me to act too. There are stories about every hero, how they became great. Most have one thing in common. Their bodies moved before they had a chance to think, almost on their own.
You never told me, Mom. Back then, the thing I wanted you to say. The words I needed to hear.
Young man, you too can become a hero.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I wanted to talk about My Hero Academia because the final season just wrapped up, and that means there will be no more. It's over, it's officially done. My Hero Academia has officially ended. And I wanted to talk about it as a whole and just what I thought about the season in general, things I liked and disliked. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think a show that's gone on for so many years. I mean, I remember when the first season came out and stuff, and I've seen this fandom in this anime just grow so much. It's incredible, really. It's grown from such a kind of hated anime, mostly because of the fandom, but it's nonetheless a very hated anime, to such a beloved and cherished anime. And I think the final season of the show did it a lot of good justice here. And there will be one final episode that comes out in, I believe, May. It is adapting chapter 431, because if you read the manga, you would have noticed in the final season that chapter 431 was not present. And chapter 431 is just kind of a short time skip, showing where all the heroes we grew up with, watching them grow up, where they are now with their hero work, like rankings on the hero chart and stuff, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna say it's kind of spoilers. I'm not gonna get too crazy into spoilers, but I might bring up some stuff that's kind of spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend going and watching it. But I assume it's the final season. This is literally the ending of the show. If you're watching anything about it, I would have assumed you've watched the entirety of the show by now. Anyways, all that nonsense out of the way, let's talk about it a little bit. I think this final season did, like I said, a lot of good justice for this anime. I think it wrapped up everything very nicely and was really what the fans have been asking for. This anime has had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. I think season 1 till like season 4 of this anime is incredible. Like that's what got me hooked originally. Um, just peak so good seasons. Those seasons are so strong and so good with Overhaul and Muscle Man and One for All and All Might and all just in their primes, and Deku learning the reins of One for All and really getting a hold of his power. Just really, really strong seasons. I think season 5 was the weakest season for me. I believe that was the season with the music festival, and it was like the second class A versus class B or whatever. That was kind of whatever to me. And Gentle was the main villain of that season. Like,
Hey guys, just wanted to butt in really quick here and make a little correction to what I was saying. I apologize, I didn't double check my work before I started talking about this, but what I'm talking about was actually the second half of season 4 was the music festival and the gentle fight stuff that was going on that I wasn't a huge fan of. Not season 5. Season 5 had the fight between Class A and B, the training that I also wasn't a huge fan of. Um, and season 5 also had the probably the most lackluster animation and like the very beginning to like middle of season 6. But season 6 towards the end they started kind of, you know, putting in that work again and it started improving back to the quality we're used to. By no means do I think the animation in this show in general is bad, especially comparative to a lot of other animes, but for what we come to expect, it's a decrease in quality. So I want to apologize for those mistakes going into it. Season 7, the animation was already really good again. Um, yeah, I just wanted to apologize for those mistakes.
Just the weakest season in my opinion. I'm not gonna go too in depth on it, but that season was snooze fest, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Season 6 and 7 were they were good. They were good. They were good seasons, but they had some animation and quality control issues in general. More so season 6. I remember the fandom was livid that the animation was not up to par with what we've seen in the show thus far, what we expect from Bone Studio. I still thought it was better than a lot of other animes get. Like it obviously it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I think the biggest issue was they were like obsessed with the blue sky, and a lot of people hated that because part of an anime animating a show, part of setting the fight scene, getting the atmosphere right. That's huge. It's a big priority. And having a sunshine and rainbows while this villain is tearing apart your favorite heroes, it's not exactly the best atmosphere, I would say. So I understand that, but we've moved past that. Season 7 they corrected a lot. They really got back in the lab. This final season, the animation was perfect. The pacing was incredible. Like it was just constant action and mainly focused on the characters you actually wanted to see fighting, not freaking some randos. I enjoy all the characters in the show, but I'm not super interested in seeing them fight over Bakugo or Deku. Like it's cool, but I'd way rather see them fight. Like, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. But I enjoyed it because they did focus more so on Bakugo and Shigaraki and Deku and One for All, and even All Might got back in the fray a little bit, and it was just really nice to see really great conclusions to all the characters. Obviously, just Deku as a character is one of the best examples of heroism in fiction. He's right up there with like Spider-Man and like Superman, Batman, guys like that for me. I love Deku as a character. He's one of my favorite main characters in general, and by far my favorite part of this show. He's just incredible to see where he started to how far he's grown to now. It's insane. It's so cool to see. It's one of the few animes where you can go back and watch the first episode of the anime and compared to the last, and visibly see how much the character has grown. It's just incredible. It's incredible. I seriously can't recommend giving My Hero a try. Give it a watch if you haven't. I know it gets a lot of shame for some of the poorer parts of the fan base. We we don't talk about that though. But I do think if you can look past the fan base, and I wouldn't even say that bad nowadays. Yeah, this anime is just incredible. I don't really have a lot to say about it, to be honest. Like it my main complaint, it's not even a complaint because if they spread it out more, it would have been too slow of pacing, in my opinion. But the pacing is so fast and then like the division of having to divide it by multiple seasons really kind of like if I watched this all in one stretch, I'd be able to give you a much more congruent review. Season 1 through 4, I look back on positively. Just overhaul in Deku and Lemillion in season 4. Peak, just peak. What a peak season. Um, Muscle Man versus Deku in season 3. I know there was also All Might versus One for All in that season, but Muscle Man versus Deku, that's like my favorite fight in the whole show. That is one of the best examples of like the indomitable human spirit, bro. I love that episode, that fight so much. That might be like my favorite Deku fight in the whole show. It's just so good. The odds are all stacked against him, and he's like literally just on his last leg and just refuses to go down, refuses to stay down. It's so peak. It really embodies Deku's character of just never giving up and just like refusing to lose. But yeah, just incredible how we've seen Deku grow from a scared young boy who wants so badly to be a hero to, in my opinion, the number one hero in the show. I know the ending's very divisive, where Deku ends up losing One for All, including his own Ember, which it's a punch in the gut. I mean, it makes sense, like, especially for Deku's character. Even like he says, like, because a lot of people don't like it because after he loses his Ember and is just One for All in general, he stops being a hero and becomes a teacher instead for the next generation, which he does back up, saying even if he kept his power, he would still probably have chosen to be a teacher for the children and whatnot. So I'm not mad at it. Like, it makes sense. Deku has seen the corruption of just society and on young children in his universe. Well, in his world, like, it's not that expansive, but in his world, the world of My Hero, where young children are often abused and mistreated for their powers and not properly raised. You know what I mean? Shigaraki firsthand, he was manipulated from like 5 years old and turned into, by All for One, the villain Shigaraki. Like, he would have been a normal boy with I believe his powers was like the flying ones, like the yellow rings that like propel him, but All for One took that power, replaced it with decay, and made him the villain he was. And it was, his whole life was a lie and manipulated. Kind of banking off that, just an incredible villain. Shigaraki as a villain is incredible. So is All for One. Both are just incredibly well written villains, and I think both of their conclusions are great. With All for One realizing he just like he's messed up in the brain, like he's undefendably evil, but he just wanted to be loved. He still just wanted to be loved, mostly by his brother, Yoichi. But he was so twisted and messed up, and obviously part of that, he was born that way, but his mom, I mean, she was obviously not taking care of him, not raising them, but Shigaraki, like, manipulated from birth, basically, and he had a nice conclusion as well, retaking his body from All for One and helping Deku defeat All for One for good, and kind of just saying like that this is who he is, that's all he's known. Even though his whole life was a lie, that's all he's known, and he is a villain, and accepting it, but also, you know, moving on to the next life. Like, I can't remember exactly, but it's like Shigaraki lived to destroy or something were his last words, I believe. And just a beautiful moment between those two characters. Deku finally getting to help Shigaraki like he's wanted to this whole time, ever since he saw a glimpse of his childhood and trauma. Just a beautiful show, like, genuinely so beautiful. All the characters, all the villains, they're all so compelling, and I can't glaze it enough. It's definitely one of my favorite animes of all time. one of my favorite manga series of all time. It's so incredible, and I can't wait to see that chapter 431 animated in May. What a beautiful chapter. It really just adds that cherry on top of the final conclusion of the characters. And it's beautiful. I like Deku's conclusion. I do. It again, it sucks. He lost his power, but getting an Iron Man suit in return, it's pretty badass. And he, yeah, just he knows how to use it. I won't spoil chapter 431 too much, but it's really cool. I really like it, and he does some real good with it. So I look forward heavily to chapter 431 being animated in May, and that'll be the last episode of My Hero Academia ever. So I guess we look forward to that, and kind of depressing but happy at the same time because it's a happy ending, and you love to see it. But yeah, that's about all I gotta say about this incredible show. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you put it on your watch list. Go watch it. It's really life changing. I'm not even like exaggerating. It's, to me anyways, it's life changing. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, everybody. Let me know what you guys thought of the final season of My Hero and My Hero as a show in general. And yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.